Hello, everybody. Let's get this. Oh, one more little thing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Positivity Project brought to you by Achieve Wellness Together and Sacred Love. I am your host, Angela Nelson, and today is September 6th, National Read a Book Day. And we are also in the middle of National Preparedness Month and Self Care Awareness Month. These observances encourage us to take care of ourselves and prepare for the future, both personally and professionally. Today's guest, Mary Jane Charles, also known as the Last Wishes Facilitator, is here to help us explore an important part of self care, preparing for the future with peace of mind, whether for our personal lives or businesses. Mary Jane, welcome to the show.
Hi, Angela. Thank you for having me as a guest. It was such a nice surprise when you brought it up yesterday, and I said, yes, I would love to. It's great to be here.
Oh, well, I am so honored to have you here. Mary Jane is a dear friend of mine. I absolutely adore her and all of the work that she's done to bring an awareness to preparedness. Oh my gosh, you should use that. I like that.
There we go.
And
Yes.
yes, and being National Read a Book Day, books are so powerful when it comes to using as tools for growth and inspiration. And our conversation is inspired by Mary Jane's successful books about last wishes. Mary Jane, your work has touched so many lives. Can you share with us what inspired you to continue writing about this theme after the success of your first book?
The effect last wishes is almost a misnomer. Um, it is the detailed information that we leave uh, to whomever is going to finish our earthly business after we're gone. But it could happen to anybody if you slip on a leaf, or God forbid, in the bathroom that you can't speak for yourself. My book, the workbook, is a gift of love to your family in that you took the time to write the details they will need to finish your business. Nobody wants to do a go find hide and seek for things in the middle of already a crisis. So to have another crisis, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. Neither do I. Did he ever say anything? You can cut that in half. I put my book behind me. Just one moment. Oh, good job. All right. Well, anyway, my book is simple. It's question and answer. And if you can tell somebody that you bank at Bank of America, for instance, for those who live in where there's a B of A, we still need to know the branch. It would be super if we knew with whom you spoke. And if God forbid anything happened to Angela and I went into her bank branch in her behalf, that I'd say, I'm Mary Jane Charles, I'm a friend of Angela, and they know you. Oh my goodness. It's like the gates are open and they will have known you. They can help you with this. They know, oh, I remember that one. It is such a gift to leave people. Just tell them what to do. They'll follow what you say. I came upon this when my husband died suddenly, and he left no papers whatsoever. And so his adult sons, they didn't know anything. And I didn't know anything either. Pardon me. He didn't like to talk about those things. It's not about you. It's about the people who follow you. So if the topic is too tender or too frank for some, just remind them it's not about them. It's the people who will follow.
Absolutely. And so well put because, I think it's selfish if we think that, oh, everything's fine, or, when I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't care about anything. We want to make sure our loved ones are taken care of. That's why we've got, life insurance policies and such into place. But people can't access this if they don't know. And it's something that needs to be talked about. Like, do you even know if, say, your loved one wants to be cremated or buried? Do they want an
Right.
open casket or not? And it's things that may be uncomfortable to discuss, but it's things that need to be known.
Yeah, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Everybody has to go through this. And if you've not already done it, and it's a kit. We have first aid kits, we have earthquake kits, we have, kits we put in our cars for a million reasons. That's what this is. Where did Angela put this? And what else did she want? Well, in here, some of it's common sense, but I put things in there I promise you will not have thought of. Or what is in there, you'd be like, oh, we don't have that, but we have this. And where did that go when my mother died? You start searching. It's a thought provoker, and there's plenty of space on the other side of the question page to put in your own handwriting and to write it in your hand, not put it online, pardon me, is very important, because people can cut and paste online. They cannot cut and paste what you handwrite in your book. You can change it. It's not a test. It's not a puzzle. And you don't want people to think it's a puzzle. It is a private document, so I wouldn't bring it up at the dinner table like a Thanksgiving or a birthday party. But you have what I call a first lieutenant. When my husband died, I had 1,000,001 errands to run. Some required my presence, some did not. My son was 28. He knew all the players. I could send him on those errands that I wasn't required, which I'm thinking of another thing to do. But it allows people to, first of all, be included. And second of all, you know who they are. They can be trusted. And he happened to be personable and could please, may I have this? Someone else would have been said no to. I know that. That's why I sent him to do his magic. They like him. He's 34 now. He's fine and handsome. He just is a nice guy. So people spoke to him, but I knew I would get the papers I needed. I say that because in the United States, and I'm sure every country has wills. Well, we didn't have a will, which meant there was no executor. I had to wait for the piece of paper from the state of Washington, where I lived at the time, that appointed me personal representative. That took 3 weeks. I couldn't move money. I couldn't buy gas. I mean, I had my own monies, thank you, Lord. But if it was, not that I had my own money, it would have been very problematic. So you do want a will. It's not an expense, it's an investment. You won't be there. You do not want to put somebody in the position that I was, flying by the seat of their pants for every little thing. Well, what about that? You never said that to me. How am I going to prove what my husband and I discussed? I could not. So as you fill out this book and you want to change something, don't scribble, don't write out those raised questions. Simply put a line through, put your initials and date it. And that's it. And then write what you want. You can do it 6 times, but don't script it out so somebody can't see. They'll say, who did that? And she never said that to me. Well, she said it to me, and these are the dates. Yes, she did change it, but this is the latest date. keep it clean and neat, but make it yours is the bottom line.
That is so smart. Yes, and thank you for that tip about just striking through and putting your initials and date. Because how many people would just think, oh, let me just white it out, or just let me,
Right.
scribble it out, or what have you. So, and yes, that could definitely raise questions if you did that. With September being National Self-Care Awareness Month and also National Preparedness Month, it is a perfect tie-in to the work that you do, Mary Jane. Planning for the future, whether for ourselves, our families, or our businesses, is a crucial part of self-care. So, what would or how would a business survive without, say, its original owner in place? And how does this process contribute to self-care?
Nobody likes to be feeling stuck or bewildered at the enormity of the loss of a loved one. And that could be a boss or a business. You don't need to lose the business at the same time. So business can be done almost parallel to what you'll be doing for yourself. There are partnership papers and company papers. That is absolutely, they absolutely require an attorney and a CPA. I would say two different people, keeping things even. And attorney, powers of attorney for the business need not be the same for the personal. There are arguments for both sides, and be as particular about the business, probably more so, as you are about your personal things. And I learned the hard way. Someone who was, well, I'll talk to my partner, I'll talk to my partner. They were never partners. I did not have that opportunity to say, I'd like to see the books, because I had no partnership papers to go by. So, as my grandfather used to say when I'd sit down to play cards with him, always smile and cut the deck. Never leave chance to happen. I might have been 5, and here I was cutting the deck, teaching me honesty and integrity and all good things. But it was a lesson. So, and then I learned it well. I thought a pop-up. 55 years later, I'm like, son of a gun, I didn't cut the deck. You have, get an attorney and a good CPA. They can recommend them. They are in the same office many times. Make sure you like these people. That's a bizarre exercise, by the way, because there was no will, there was no attorney. I didn't have anyone to call. So 2 weeks after the funeral, no, the week of the funeral, I was escorted into this office to meet the attorney. I was like, whose attorney? I'm thinking, is it my eldest stepson? Had introduced me to this man. And the man never spoke to Mary Jane. He was speaking to a brother-in-law who was in the room. I could never figure out why he was there to begin with. And this young man, it's 50s, I was in my 60s. And so they're all talking past me and over me. And I just sat back at that point because it was only 24 hours after my husband had died. And I thought, well, that's bizarre all by itself. So I have survivor humor, which I have to contain sometimes because I acquired it through life. And this was crazy. And I just thought it was nuts. So I stood up at one point. They thought they had a decision. I hadn't opened my mouth. The man lived in Oregon. I'm in Washington. He wanted to do this because we had a mailbox and he could be the attorney. I said, no, that requires an oath. I'm not taking an oath to a state. I don't. It was just nuts. So I stood up and I said, "Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate all your time and effort. But that's all there's going to be today." They're both mouth wide open and like, "What's she doing?" And I thanked him for his time, and I was half to the door. And he's telling me how sorry he was for my loss. You never knew either one of us, so please back up and don't touch the small of my back again. It's
Oh,
gonna
oh my
flip
gosh.
him. Oh, it was something. So all I'm saying is, I turned to my eldest son, stepson, excuse me, and said, "I will not be using that man. I will find my own attorney, and that will be after the funeral, which is next week." End of topic for that point. And I never
Good for
forgot.
you.
They were, I don't know, it wasn't like he was a Rockefeller. And I just didn't like the bunch. Seize your power, believe in yourself. I had the husband of a dear friend call me either that day or the next. He said, "Mary Jane, no one is going to tell you what to do, but you have the power." And I kind of shrugged it off. "Thanks, Mark." And no, this was like man talk, Mary Jane. And I never forgot it. It really empowered me because I was afraid. I didn't know what I was doing. I was overwhelmed. And this was all someone else's estate. Yeah, we were married, but it was so private. You know more than I did. So you don't do that to people. You just don't. So
Right.
meet an attorney ahead of time. Make sure they know your name. And you don't, when you don't need them, it's like looking for cars when you don't need one. Know what you would do if you needed one. And it's shopping like anything else. Hello, how are you? And leave the law out of it and see if you like the human being. But you can do
Mm.
all your homework ahead of time. It's all preparation.
You just answered the question I was going to ask you about. What are the top three things that business owners can do to make sure there's no second guessing or misunderstandings? And I heard you say, believe in yourself
Yeah.
and meet with an attorney first.
Yeah.
Get to know them and make sure you like them. And
That's right.
remember, you have the power. So that may have been four. You have the power,
Mm-hmm.
and to not
If
give that
you
away.
No, don't give it away. Come up to
Right.
speed and take your own courses. You can watch YouTube's "What Do I Ask an Attorney" when I'm first starting. Just tutor yourself and definitely meet with at least three. People get married. You don't marry the first guy, usually. And if you are about to, don't. Don't do that. Go take a trip to Europe and in 3 months come back and see if you still like them. But I digress. So you just make a list of what you need, number one, and what you want, much like when I was a realtor. And then you think, well, I have to see what I can afford. That's true too, but most people just need a boilerplate will. That's both personal but you don't want boilerplate papers for your business. So you need to meet with your CPA, and do get a CPA because they will be conversing with the attorney. Or
Mm.
some people do both jobs. That's okay, but make sure they've been in business a long time. Uh, Speak to your friends who have businesses throughout the Chamber of Commerce or whatever local organizations you belong to. Do you have a business attorney? Do you have a CPA? And ask a CPA that you know and like, what attorneys do you refer people to? Because they're best friends. They work together all the time. So it might be very simple, but you want both. But you don't have to go for your own law degree, but do come up to speed of what your business needs. In that case, you would ask somebody within the Chamber of Commerce, has lots of information on those type of things. And your banker, go to your banker. They'll tell you also.
And like you
And
said earlier, make sure that they know you, that you have that
absolutely.
relationship with them. Yes. And
And so
and I
you,
think that's something that people maybe don't do now. You go to different branches, you might say hi, but everything's so electronic and it's important to have that relationship.
it is. You still need a human being, especially with a problem. It's still okay to walk in a bank and say hi. That's why they have an assistant manager and the manager. They're waiting for you. Not too many come in anymore. But my local bank, there are two people there all the time, not the tellers. This is the next story up. And you need to know these are all part of your team. You're putting together your team and you're the team leader. So you have to say, okay, I like my attorney. I like my CPA. And if ever there's a problem, and they do arise where all of a sudden you're not getting along, you can replace them. You're not married to them. And without being mean or ugly, they work for you. So that's where they get paid. But don't feel pushed around or ignored. And my name is a double name. I was called Mary Ann, Mary Lou, Mary Elaine, and I just sat back and get people's names straight. It's
Yes.
disrespectful at the door not to for any reason, but you're really in a bad situation. You want someone to say, Angela, I'm on it. And put them on the speed dial on your phone.
I didn't think about that.
On your
Not only
phone,
have them in the book, but also on your phone. Yeah.
yes, there should be, because first responders, first thing they do is look at your phone, and you could
Hmm.
have under ice in case of emergency. And it would be two relatives, two local relatives. If not, I don't have anyone local. But the first two people you want called. The third person, many years ago, would be your doctor's name. We're lucky if we see the same person twice. But also have someone out of state. So many of us live where the weather changes and the local cell towers are down, but you might be able to at least reach somebody's estate over or something, and just to let them know you're okay. But the fourth and fifth numbers should be an attorney and perhaps a doctor's name if you have a specialty.
In your experience, Mary Jane, how does being prepared and getting your last wishes in order bring peace not only to the person that's preparing, but also to the loved ones left behind?
It brings complete peace of mind to all concerned to know there is a completed workbook with the details that you want carried out in one place. And you and your first lieutenant know it, and we know what to do. A friend of ours she and her husband had filled out the book last Thanksgiving, and that was that. Okay, book is filled, done. Well, January came, and they were getting ready in the morning, and it wasn't what he said, it was how he said it. And he was having a stroke. And so he lived, he's fine. But they didn't know that for 3 to 4 days. In the interim, it's the beginning of the year, and everything needs to be done in the beginning of the year. Her eldest son arrived, and she said it's all in the book. She wouldn't have been able to do it. She was too upset with him being incapacitated. But her son was able to take the book and make everything happen. That enormous boulder of stress just went away. Everything was handled just like that. And just like they put together in Thanksgiving. So it was enormous and it worked. And I was so pleased
That is
because that was the whole
that is
purpose.
perfect.
That's the perfect thing.
I think that is the perfect gift. And, the holiday season is just around the corner. And like you said, you don't want to bring this up in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner or Hanukkah or Christmas. However, now is September. It's National Self-Care Month and also Preparedness Month. Easy for me to say. So, what better way to do that than to make sure that your final wishes are recorded with your own handwriting and it's in place, and that more importantly, your loved ones know where to find that. And
Exactly.
Mary Jane, thank you so much for your wisdom and sharing your insight with us. And everybody remember that preparedness is a form of self-care. So
Yes, it
take
is.
time this month, to start thinking about the future and how you can plan for the future, whether it's personal life or about your business. And for more information about Mary Jane's work, you can visit lastwishessupport.com. Again, that is lastwishessupport.com. And again,
Actually,
it's
I'm
oh,
sorry, I have to correct you. It's last wishes n support.com. It's the letter N
the
instead.
letter N. Oh my goodness. I apologize. And I know that. Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's okay.
Last wishes in support.com. So add
Right.
that in. Yes.
Yeah.
Last wishes
Letter.
in support.com. Thank you, Mary Jane. I apologize. I did not
No,
mean
that's
to.
okay. It was long and I was trying to be clever and I put the letter N instead of the word and don't ever be clever. All I do is explain it. So thank you.
Well, it's very memorable though. It is very memorable. So
Yep.
we've heard it and we know where to go. And with National Read a Book Day. Now it's so funny now that I forgot the N. Now I'm just adding it to everything. National Read a Book Day. I encourage you to pick up one of Mary Jane's books today. And don't forget to take care of yourself during Self-Care Awareness Month and also take care of your loved ones with one of Mary Jane's books and her workbook. They are literally stress savers, time savers, and they will be your life work savers as well because it's all going to be there for those you love and care about.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, Mary Jane. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on the Positivity Project. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.